What if the real reason you are not selling more has nothing to do with your product and everything to do with your mind? What if success in sales is not about learning fancy closing tricks or aggressive persuasion, but mastering the psychology that happens inside you before you even speak a word? You see, every top salesperson on the planet knows one truth: people do not buy products. They buy emotions, confidence, and belief, and that belief always begins in you. In The Psychology of Selling, Brian Tracy reveals that selling is not just a business skill, it is a mind game. The highest paid salespeople are not the ones who talk the most, they are the ones who think the best. This book uncovers how to control your thoughts, build unshakable self-confidence, understand human motivation, and ethically influence others. When you change your inner psychology, your results multiply, not because the market changes, but because you do. So let us dive into the timeless lessons from this powerful book that will completely transform how you sell and how you see yourself. Chapter 1: The Inner Game of Selling. Imagine two salespeople walk into the same room, meet the same client, and pitch the same product. One walks out with a closed deal, the other walks out with excuses. What made the difference? It was not the price, the pitch, or even the product. It was what happened inside their mind before they walked in. Brian Tracy calls this the inner game of selling, the invisible battlefield that decides your success long before the customer even speaks. Your attitude, your self-image, and your belief in the value you bring shape every word you say, every tone you use, and every signal your body gives off when you believe you deserve success. People can feel it. Confidence is not just seen, it is sensed. And just as easily, so is fear, doubt, and desperation. In selling, people do not buy your product, they buy your energy. They buy the conviction in your eyes that tells them, this will help you. Brian explains that your subconscious mind is like a thermostat for achievement. If you secretly feel you are worth $50,000 a year, even if you make $100,000, you will sabotage yourself until you fall back down. The solution? Reprogram your mind to expect success. Feed your mind with positive goals, visualize closing deals, repeat affirmations that build certainty. Over time, your brain starts believing a new story and your results rise to match it. But here is the twist: belief alone is not enough. You must earn that confidence through preparation. Brian says the best salespeople are the best prepared. Every time you study your product, your customer, and your market, you add one more brick of certainty inside you. And when you walk into that room prepared, you radiate quiet power, the kind that wins trust instantly. So, the inner game is not about tricking your mind into fake confidence. It is about mastering yourself so deeply that confidence becomes your natural state. Because when your inner world is strong, no rejection can shake you. But if your inner game is weak, even the best strategy will collapse under pressure. So ask yourself, are you playing to win inside your mind, or are you already losing before you even start? Because in sales, you never compete with other people, you compete with your own belief of what is possible. In the next chapter, Brian reveals the surprising truth about setting goals that actually come true and why most people fail before they even begin. Chapter 2: Set and achieve all your sales goals, the power of direction. Imagine walking into your office tomorrow morning with absolute clarity about what you want to achieve that day. Every call, every meeting, every presentation tied to one clear purpose. That feeling of direction is what separates top-performing salespeople from everyone else. In this chapter, Brian Tracy unveils the invisible force that drives all extraordinary achievement: goal setting. Tracy begins by emphasizing a profound truth: sales success begins in the mind before it happens in reality. Every top salesperson he's studied has one thing in common: they think in goals. They do not wake up hoping for success. They wake up planning for it. He calls goals the navigation system of your life. Without them, you drift. With them, you accelerate. Tracy compares this to a pilot flying a plane. The destination is predetermined, the route may shift due to winds, but the end point never changes. Your goals, he says, give your subconscious mind a destination to lock onto, and your behavior naturally aligns with it. He introduces a 7-step formula for goal setting that has changed countless sales careers. Decide exactly what you want. Vague wishes like "I want to sell more" don't activate the brain. You must define precise targets. I will earn 100,000 this year, or I will close 5 new accounts every month. Clarity magnetizes energy. Write it down. Writing transforms a dream into a commitment. Tracy calls this the act of crystallizing thought. It takes an abstract idea and makes it tangible something you can see, measure, and chase. Set a deadline. A goal without a deadline is merely a fantasy. Deadlines create urgency and focus. They turn someday into today. List everything you must do to achieve it. Break big ambitions into actionable steps, calls to make, people to contact, skills to learn. Each list item becomes a bridge between where you are and where you want to be. Organize your list into a plan. Prioritize, identify high-value tasks that move the needle. Tracy repeats one of his golden rules: work on top priorities first, and your day will never feel wasted. Take action immediately. The difference between dreamers and doers is motion. Momentum, even small steps, signals to your subconscious that you're serious, and then the mind starts working overtime to find solutions. Do something every day. Daily action compounds. He calls it the miracle of persistence. Doing one small thing toward your goal each day creates unstoppable progress. Tracy also explains how goal setting transforms confidence. Each written, measurable goal injects a sense of control over your future. When you plan your income, your prospects, and your time, anxiety fades. You're no longer reacting to the marketplace. You're directing it. He urges readers to visualize their success daily, not as a fantasy, but as mental rehearsal. The subconscious doesn't distinguish between imagination and reality. It begins working as if success is already true. Your mind becomes your partner in achievement. By the end of the chapter, Tracy drives one message deep into the reader's soul. If you want to double your income, triple your goals. He insists that no salesperson ever rises above the goals they set for themselves. The size of your dream determines the size of your success. Set them high, commit to them daily, and your sales career will transform from random opportunity to predictable victory. Chapter 3: Why People Buy. Unlocking the emotional triggers behind every sale. Imagine this: you are in a meeting, explaining your product with precision, logic, and perfect data. You show graphs, numbers, testimonials, everything that should make the client say yes. But instead, they smile politely and say, "Let me think about it." Frustrating, right? In this chapter, Brian Tracy reveals the secret behind that moment. People don't buy for logical reasons, they buy for emotional ones. Logic only comes later to justify the decision they've already made in their heart. Tracy starts with a fundamental truth. Selling is not about products, features, or even price. It's about people and emotions. Every buying decision is made emotionally first, then defended logically afterward. The top salespeople understand this invisible emotional process, and they tailor their communication to reach the buyer's heart before their mind. He identifies 2 dominant emotions that drive every purchase: desire for gain, fear of loss. When you help your prospect imagine how much better life could be with your product, that is desire for gain. When you make them realize what they might miss out on if they delay, that is fear of loss. Both emotions create urgency, but fear of loss is twice as powerful. Tracy says people are more motivated to avoid pain than to achieve pleasure. Then he explains the psychology of motives. The hidden forces behind why people buy. Every purchase, big or small, can be traced to one or more of these basic emotional triggers: the desire for money to save, earn, or protect it; the desire for security, to feel safe, stable, and certain; the desire for status, to be respected, admired, and seen as successful; the desire for love or approval, to strengthen relationships or win admiration. The desire for self-improvement to grow, learn, and evolve, the desire for health and well-being to feel better physically and mentally. Tracy insists that every product you sell must link to at least one of these motives. If your offer doesn't touch an emotion, it won't move the buyer to act. He also shares a fascinating insight into the 4 types of buyers you'll encounter. The analytical, biological, data-driven, skeptical. They need facts, but they still buy emotionally once trust is earned. The amiable buyer, friendly, people-oriented. They buy based on relationships and trust, not pressure. The expressive buyer, creative and visionary. They love excitement and stories about future success. The driver buyer, decisive, competitive and results-oriented. They want control, confidence and speed. Once you identify which type you're dealing with, you can tailor your tone, words, and pace to match their world. The more they feel you understand me, the faster they buy. Tracy then gives one of the most powerful sales lessons ever stated. People buy from you for their reasons, not yours. Your job is not to convince them, but to discover what truly matters to them. Ask intelligent questions. Listen deeply. Find their dominant buying motive, then present your product as the key to fulfilling it. He also reminds salespeople that enthusiasm is contagious. The emotional tone you bring into the conversation directly influences the buyer's emotional state. If you believe in your product with passion and conviction, they'll start believing too, because selling at its core is the transfer of enthusiasm. Finally, Tracy summarizes with a master principle. Selling is 90% emotion and 10% logic. When you touch the right emotion, logic becomes your ally. When you ignore emotion, logic becomes your enemy. So to sell more, don't sell the product, sell the feeling, sell the relief, the pride, the excitement, the security, and the client will never forget how you made them feel. Chapter 4. Developing a positive self-concept, the mindset that sells. Brian Tracy begins this chapter with one bold truth. You will never earn more money than your self-image allows. Your self-concept, the way you see yourself, sets the boundaries for your success in sales and in life. Every call you make, every presentation you give, and every deal you close reflects what you truly believe about yourself on the inside. If you see yourself as average, you will act and sell like an average salesperson. If you see yourself as a top performer, you'll naturally rise to meet that image even in tough markets. Tracy explains that your outer world is always a mirror of your inner world. Your income, confidence, and results are the reflections of how much you value yourself. He says the biggest obstacle to success in selling is not competition or market conditions, it is self-doubt. That's why building a powerful, positive self-concept isn't optional. It's the foundation. Because when your self-image improves, everything else follows. The 3 parts of self-concept. Tracy breaks it down into 3 components that shape your identity and behavior. Self-ideal, the person you want to become. This is your vision of your best self, confident, persuasive, successful, respected. The clearer your self-ideal, the stronger your motivation to grow. Tracy encourages you to visualize your ideal salesperson self every day. Picture how they speak, dress, sell, and handle objections. Because what you hold in your mind repeatedly, you begin to create in reality. Self-image, the way you see yourself right now. It's your reflection of your daily behavior, habits, and performance. If your self-image says, "I'm not good at closing," or "I always lose at the last step," your subconscious will make that statement true. But when you affirm, "I'm confident and skilled at closing deals," your mind begins to align with that belief. Self-esteem. How much you like and value yourself. This is the emotional fuel behind success. People with high self-esteem bounce back from rejection fast. They take no as feedback, not failure. But people with low self-esteem take every rejection personally and lose energy quickly. Tracy says you'll never sell at a higher price than you sell yourself for. So your job as a salesperson is to become your own biggest fan, not in arrogance, but in belief, the law of correspondence. He introduces one of his most powerful psychological principles: as within, so without. Your performance on the outside will always correspond with your self-concept on the inside. If you want to double your sales, start by doubling your self-belief. That's why top performers use positive self-talk. They program their minds with powerful affirmations like, "I like myself," "I am a top professional," "I am confident, calm, and in control." These words may sound simple, but repeated with conviction, they reshape your subconscious. Tracy calls this mental rehearsal. The more you see yourself succeeding in your mind, the more natural it becomes in real life. Your attitude determines your altitude. Tracy says the best salespeople walk into every meeting with energy and confidence, not because everything is going perfectly, but because they choose to carry a winning attitude. Every rejection, a learning moment; every no, a step closer to yes. He reminds us, your clients can feel your attitude before you say a word. When you radiate enthusiasm and self-belief, people are drawn to you. They subconsciously trust those who trust themselves. The self-fulfilling prophecy. Tracy concludes with a profound insight. You become what you think about most of the time. If you constantly think about fear, failure, and rejection, you'll attract more of them. But if you focus on success, confidence, and service, you'll start seeing opportunities everywhere. The message is clear: to change your sales, change the story you tell yourself. Because once your self-image expands, your results can't help but follow. Chapter 5. Creative Selling: How to Stand Out in a Competitive World. Picture this. Two salespeople walk into the same market, selling similar products to similar clients. One struggles to make even a single sale. The other is consistently closing deals, building relationships, and earning more than most of their peers. What makes the difference? Brian Tracy calls it creative selling: the ability to stand out, solve problems, and offer unique value that your competition cannot match. Creative selling is not about gimmicks or flashy techniques. It is about thinking differently, adding value, and seeing opportunities others miss. Tracy begins by emphasizing a critical truth. The marketplace is crowded, competitive, and filled with average performers. If you want to succeed, you cannot rely on being good enough. You must be remarkable. He highlights several ways to approach creative selling. Ask better questions. The key to understanding your client is curiosity. Instead of presenting your product first, ask insightful questions that reveal their hidden needs and desires. Tracy says the more you understand your client's problem, the more creative solutions you can offer. Customize your solution. Don't give a one-size-fits-all pitch. Tailor your offer to solve the exact problem your client faces. Creativity in selling comes from thinking of unique ways your product can meet their specific needs. Go beyond the sale. Offer extra value that competitors ignore. It could be advice, resources, or follow-up support. Tracy emphasizes that the best salespeople are solution providers, not just product sellers. Focus on benefits, not features. Most salespeople talk about features. It does this, it does that. Creative sellers translate features into tangible benefits that emotionally resonate with the buyer. Visualize the sale. Creative selling requires mental rehearsal. Tracy advises visualizing not just closing the sale, but creating a win-win scenario where both parties feel satisfied. Your subconscious mind starts generating ideas and strategies for success. Tracy also emphasizes continuous learning and innovation. The market evolves, competitors adapt, and client needs shift constantly. A creative salesperson seeks new ways to add value, differentiates themselves, and avoids complacency. He concludes this chapter with one compelling insight. Your ability to sell creatively is directly proportional to your willingness to think differently. Go the extra mile and truly understand the needs of your customer. In other words, the best salespeople win not because they are the loudest or pushiest, but because they are the most perceptive, resourceful, and thoughtful. Next, Tracy dives into one of the most practical challenges of sales: getting appointments and opportunities to sell in the first place. In Chapter 6, he reveals the strategies that multiply your chances of meeting the right clients. Chapter 6. Getting more appointments, opening the door to opportunities. Imagine having the perfect pitch, unwavering confidence, and the ability to close any sale, but no one gives you a chance to present it. All your skills are wasted if you cannot get in front of the right people. Tracy begins this chapter with a simple truth. Appointments are the lifeblood of sales. Without them, there is no sale. He emphasizes that getting appointments is not about luck or persistence alone. It is about strategy, preparation, and positioning yourself as someone worth meeting. The more effectively you schedule appointments, the more deals you create, and the more income you generate. The rules of effective appointment setting: target the right prospects. Time is your most valuable asset. Tracy stresses the importance of identifying high-potential clients who are likely to benefit from your solution. Focusing on everyone is a trap. Targeting selectively maximizes efficiency and results. Craft a compelling reason to meet a prospect. Will only agree to an appointment if you can clearly answer, "Why should I spend my time on this?" Tracy suggests framing your approach around benefits and outcomes, not features or company bragging. Leverage multiple channels: phone calls, emails, referrals, and in-person networking all matter. The key is persistence combined with value. He reminds us, the fortune is in the follow-up. Many salespeople fail not because prospects aren't interested, but because they give up too soon. Overcome objections early. Most people resist appointments due to fear of wasting time. Tracy teaches phrases and techniques that preempt these objections, emphasizing empathy and understanding, rather than pressure. Be prepared and confident. Every contact reflects your professionalism. Your voice, attitude, and clarity in communication convey your credibility. Confidence and preparation make prospects feel safe saying yes. Tracy introduces the idea of daily appointment goals, a simple, powerful system for creating consistent opportunities. By deciding each morning how many appointments to secure and actively working toward it, you turn chance encounters into predictable results. This transforms your sales pipeline from reactive to proactive. He also discusses the power of referrals. Happy clients can become your best source of new appointments. Tracy says, referrals multiply your effectiveness. People trust recommendations more than marketing. By the end of the chapter, Tracy makes one key point. Your income in sales is directly proportional to the number of qualified appointments you generate. No skill, no pitch, no persuasion technique can compensate for a lack of access to prospects. Mastering appointment setting is mastering the first step of the sales journey. Next, we explore Chapter 7, The Power of Suggestion, where Tracy uncovers the subtle psychological techniques that influence clients' decisions, often without them even realizing it. Chapter 7, The Power of Suggestion, Influencing Without Pressure. Imagine this. You are in a meeting, explaining your product clearly, answering questions, and handling objections perfectly. Yet the client hesitates. Now imagine if, with subtle words and carefully crafted suggestions, you could guide them towards saying yes, almost as if they made the decision themselves. That is the power of suggestion, and Tracy devotes this chapter to mastering it. Tracy begins by explaining that humans are naturally influenced by what they hear, see, and feel. Every person carries mental filters shaped by past experiences, beliefs, and emotions. To sell effectively, you must speak not only to the mind but also to these subconscious triggers. He emphasizes three main ways to leverage suggestion in sales. Indirect suggestion: instead of telling someone what to do, you lead them to the idea subtly. For example, asking, "How would it feel if your team could save 10 hours a week?" allows the client to imagine the benefits themselves, making them more invested in the outcome. Direct suggestion: this is straightforward guidance, phrased positively. Instead of saying, "Do not miss this opportunity," you say, "Most clients in your position see the immediate benefits of this solution." Tracy notes that framing suggestions positively creates a mental pathway toward agreement. Storytelling and analogies. People respond deeply to narratives. When you share stories of past clients who faced similar challenges and benefited from your solution, the suggestion becomes indirect yet compelling. Your client begins to see themselves in the story, leading to internal persuasion. Tracy also highlights the psychological principle of repetition. The subconscious mind absorbs repeated ideas more readily than one-time statements. Strategic repetition of your product's key benefits, delivered naturally over time, strengthens belief and encourages action without pressure. Another powerful tactic he introduces is the assumption of agreement. Skilled salespeople act as if the client has already decided while guiding them gently through the benefits and next steps. This subtle approach reduces resistance and increases compliance naturally. He stresses that ethical use of suggestion is key. The goal is not manipulation but guiding the client to see the value and make a confident decision. Suggestion works best when the product truly benefits the client, reinforcing the principle that honesty and integrity amplify influence. Finally, Tracy reminds us that the power of suggestion is a skill developed with awareness and practice. By carefully choosing your words, tone, and timing, you create an environment where the client feels in control while leaning naturally toward the solution you offer. The best salespeople are not pushy. They are subtle, thoughtful, and persuasive, influencing without the client ever feeling pressured. Next, in Chapter 8, Making the Sale, Tracy reveals the step-by-step techniques for confidently closing deals, turning prospects into buyers, and maximizing your results at the crucial final stage. Chapter 8. Making the Sale, Closing with Confidence and Clarity. Imagine you have done everything perfectly. You have built rapport, asked the right questions, uncovered your client's needs, presented a tailored solution, and handled objections smoothly. Yet, without closing effectively, all your effort stops short. Brian Tracy begins this chapter with a powerful insight. The sale is not complete until the client says yes, and closing is a skill that can be mastered. Tracy emphasizes that most salespeople fail not because of lack of preparation, but because they fear asking for the sale. Anxiety, doubt, and hesitation kill deals more than price or competition. The first rule of closing: be confident, assertive, and professional. He outlines several critical strategies for closing. Assume the sale. Approach the close as a natural conclusion, not a question. Phrases like, "Which delivery date works best for you?" Or, "Do you prefer the standard or premium package?" Subtly guide the client toward decision-making while keeping them in control. Offer choices, not ultimatums. Giving options makes clients feel empowered. Tracy stresses that choice creates psychological comfort and avoids triggering resistance. Reinforce benefits before closing. Summarize the key benefits that address the client's specific needs. This ensures the client sees the tangible value and feels confident in the decision. Handle objections gracefully. Objections are opportunities, not obstacles. Tracy teaches that acknowledging concerns, empathizing, and then reframing them with facts and benefits helps clients feel understood while nudging them toward agreement. Use trial closes throughout the conversation. Ask small, non-threatening questions that gauge interest, such as, "Does this approach solve your problem?" Or, "Would this feature help your team?" These mini confirmations reduce hesitation at the final close. Tracy also discusses the psychology of urgency. People procrastinate naturally. Without a gentle push, they may delay a decision indefinitely. He advises creating urgency ethically by highlighting benefits of acting promptly, such as securing limited availability or avoiding missed opportunities. He reminds salespeople that closing is both art and science. Art comes from reading the client's emotional state, building trust, and using persuasive language. Science comes from following systematic steps, asking for the sale, handling objections, and confirming agreement. Finally, Tracy underscores a crucial mindset: every no is feedback, not failure. Each unsuccessful attempt teaches you something about your approach, your pitch, or the market. The difference between top performers and average salespeople is persistence, learning from mistakes, and improving the close every time. Key takeaway: Mastering the close is mastering confidence. If you prepare, understand your client, and present value clearly, asking for the sale becomes the natural, inevitable next step. In the next chapter, Chapter 9 to 10 Keys to Success in Selling, Brian Tracy reveals universal principles that separate average salespeople from elite performers, the habits, attitudes, and strategies that create long-term, exponential success. Chapter 9 to 10 Keys to Success in Selling, Habits of Elite Performers. Imagine a salesperson who consistently closes high-value deals, builds long-term client relationships, and enjoys both wealth and recognition. What separates them from average performers? Brian Tracy reveals that it is not luck, talent, or charisma, it is the consistent application of fundamental principles. This chapter distills the 10 keys that turn ordinary salespeople into elite performers. 1. Clarity of purpose. Elite salespeople know exactly what they want and why they are in sales. Tracy emphasizes that clarity of purpose aligns your daily actions with long-term goals. Every call, meeting, and task has a reason, creating unstoppable focus and momentum. 2. Positive self-image. Belief in oneself is non-negotiable. Top performers maintain a positive mindset, visualizing success and reinforcing confidence through affirmations and mental rehearsal. Your self-concept directly influences your results. 3. Strong work ethic. Success in sales is proportional to effort. Tracy insists that consistent, disciplined action beats talent alone. Daily routines, persistent follow-ups, and prioritization of high-value tasks compound into massive results. 4. Goal orientation. Elite salespeople are obsessed with goals. They write them down, review them daily, and measure progress. Clear goals guide decisions and motivate action, turning abstract dreams into achievable milestones. 5. Customer-centric focus. Selling is about serving, not convincing. Top performers deeply understand client needs, deliver tailored solutions, and provide exceptional value. Building trust and relationships takes precedence over immediate sales. 6. Continuous learning. Tracy emphasizes that markets, products, and client expectations evolve. Elite salespeople never stop learning. They study sales techniques, psychology, and industry trends, constantly upgrading their skills. 7. Effective communication. Clear, concise, and persuasive communication is crucial. Listening more than speaking, asking insightful questions, and adapting messages to each client's style creates rapport and influence. 8. Handling rejection. Rejection is inevitable. The elite treat every no as feedback and an opportunity to improve. They maintain resilience, optimism, and emotional control, turning setbacks into motivation. 9. Time management. Top salespeople protect their time fiercely. Tracy recommends prioritizing tasks that generate revenue and delegating or eliminating non-essential activities. Focused action maximizes productivity. 10. Ethical integrity. Sustainable success comes from honesty and integrity. Building a reputation for reliability, fairness, and trustworthiness attracts more clients and long-term partnerships than any sales tactic ever could. Tracy concludes this chapter with a powerful insight. Success in selling is predictable. Follow these 10 principles consistently, and extraordinary results are inevitable. Elite salespeople do not rely on chance. They master habits, mindset, and strategy, creating compounding success over time. Final thoughts. The psychology of selling, transforming mindset into mastery. The Psychology of Selling by Brian Tracy is not just a book about techniques or scripts. It is a comprehensive guide to transforming your mindset, habits, and approach to success in sales. Across its chapters, Tracy emphasizes a recurring truth. Sales mastery begins in the mind before it happens in the marketplace. From the very first chapter, we see that the foundation of success lies in self-belief and clarity of purpose. Developing a strong self-concept, visualizing your goals, and cultivating confidence set the stage for every interaction and decision. Without this inner alignment, no amount of skill or effort can consistently produce results. The book dives deep into understanding human behavior. Why do people buy? Tracy shows that emotion drives every purchasing decision. Top-performing salespeople do not simply sell products, they tap into desires, fears, and motivations. By understanding the emotional triggers of buyers, you become more persuasive while remaining ethical and value-driven. Tracy also stresses the importance of creative and strategic action. From generating appointments to presenting tailored solutions, and from using suggestion to mastering the close, every stage of the sales process is an opportunity to add value and differentiate yourself. Success is never about luck. It is about preparation, focus, and consistent execution. The final chapters, especially the 10 keys to success in selling, reveal that elite performance is a product of habits, discipline, and mindset, not just talent or charm. Clarity of purpose, customer focus, continuous learning, effective communication, and resilience are the pillars that support lasting achievement. Ultimately, the psychology of selling is a blueprint for anyone seeking to excel in sales and life. It shows that sales is more than transactions, it is a journey of personal growth, mastery, and influence. The principles in this book are timeless. Those who apply them consistently can transform their careers, financial success, and self-confidence. Actionable takeaway: commit to daily self-improvement, understand your client's emotional drivers, set clear goals, and approach every sale with creativity, integrity, and persistence. Doing so transforms every interaction into an opportunity for success. If you want more amazing summaries every day, then please like and subscribe to my channel.